Good morning, everyone. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening, canning recipes, a little bit of everything. So guys, you all know that we have been trying to grow now biologically instead of chemically as far as managing our pest and our soil. So I'm going to show you a couple of things today that we discovered this week that we're pretty excited about, and maybe help you start to get there as well. Stay tuned. This is our front yard. Notoriously, we have not been able to grow anything in our front yard. We've even struggled, yes, with our fruit trees. That plum tree right there is about 3 years old. That one is about 3 years old. They have not really prospered. They've not grown. They've not produced any fruit. And we are attributing that to the very poor soil. So in the video that Greg and I did a week or so back, we talked about how important your soil is and what we're doing to change ours to try to make it farm friendly where we can grow our vegetables. So he mowed down his cover crop this morning, which was daikon radishes and some oats and maybe some buckwheat, and he's fixing to reseed this again, but we're already seeing a change in this soil. You can see it's pretty. There's a lot of green growing in here, and you can't really see any soil. Well, we've lived out here for almost 20 years, guys, and this is the first time I have seen where there's not any bare soil. So he's fixing to throw out some more cover crop, and I'm going to show you a picture here of the cover crop that he's using, so you'll know where we got it and what's all in it. And we're hoping that this is going to build this soil to be super rich in nutrients and biologicals by itself without us adding any chemical or what's the word I'm trying to think, manufactured fertilizer, I guess is what I'm trying to think. But so this is what we're doing. So he's throwing the seed out, and he's going to do just a light scratch with the tiller because the birds tend to come out here and eat the seeds. So he wants to make sure and get them in the ground really good and then water them really good. So the day before yesterday, when inspecting the okra, I found that aphids were starting to come in to the plants and starting to attack them. And we have done some investigating because Greg is treating them all with nutritional items like magnesium and boron and Johnson Sioux and molasses, and that's how we've been able to head off the insect population that we were seeing last year in our high tunnels, which was aphids. And so he believes that it's because it's been so hot that the plants are starting to photorespirate, and which is creating more of the sugars and more of the nitrogen coming to surface. I don't quite understand all the biology, but this is the gist of it. And so then the aphids are starting to attack one or two plants. But let me show you what else we found when we put them under the microscope to see what was going on and if the spray that he had made was working. So guys, what this is a cordyceps, and I'm going to try to say it the right way. It's a cordyceps fungus. And we believe that it's as a result of the Johnson Sioux spraying that Greg's been putting on our plants to attack our insects biologically and not chemically. And we believe it's working. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what's in this spray that he has been using and how he made his tea. So he created kind of a compost tea, and he used the Johnson Sioux, about a cup, and he used some molasses, and he used some worm castings. And he let it sit. He put it in made like a tea bag out of cheesecloth, and he let it sit for 24 hours in non-chlorinated water and made a spray out of it. And he's been spraying our plants to try to create an insect barrier and destroy the insects naturally instead of using chemicals. And as you can see from these pictures in this video, it's working. This fungi is really attacking these aphids, and it's causing some significant disruption in their population. See those inside that fungi? It is attacking them and eating them up. And I'm going to talk more about exactly what it's doing. And they kind of call it the zombie fungus. And we were freaked out at first, but after we did some more investigating, we're pretty excited. So I have an app on my phone that identifies what is going on with my plants. And you can see here that it is a parasitic fungi that gradually colonizes and kills insects. And guys, look at what it's doing. It affects their host by changing its behavior so that it's more likely to spread to other insects. And then it just devours their little dead bodies. And they are already using this with great potential for controlling crop pests. Now, cordyceps are a member of the mushroom family, and you know that a lot of people buy that as a supplement and take, and it's very healthy for us, but it's very unhealthy for insects. I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you from what we're seeing is it attacks one insect and it starts to spread to the hive or the home, creating a very nasty environment, as you can see, and then it consumes them. This is pretty exciting news for us because when we see this on our plants, we're able to know that we can treat these insects biologically by using just some simple things instead of chemicals. They're also using this as an ant remedy, and they're finding that this can also attack insects the same way it's doing some of the insects on our plants. And we're really hoping to find out that this may work on as being a fire ant remedy and a solution, because here in Texas we suffer from those terribly. Now, guys, this is not a new method. We don't believe it's new at all. We believe that it's old. We believe it's old world, back when our soil was nutritionally rich and mineral rich before we started farming it and adding the chemicals and all the additives to try to produce more food. So this really isn't a new thing. We believe that it's the way we need to be growing, and maybe it's the way you need to be growing. You have to make that decision for yourself. So if this is the direction you're going to want to go, you do want to go ahead and start some cover crops. And I'm going to show you a picture here of what's in our cover crop seeds. And you want to maybe look into that spray and start using it on your foliage to help with your insect control, because we're finding that it's working. And again, Greg has learned this very quick. He has studied very hard and diligently for the last 4 to 6 months trying to learn this so that we could get on top of the insect population that was invading our garden. I mean, last year we had aphids that were devouring everything. I didn't get any bok choy because it just completely devoured our greens. So I'm going to give you a shot here of what the cover crop is that Greg is using. I've already told you about the spray. So look at this. So this is the cover crop that we have chosen, and what this will do is it'll go down, the roots will go and break up our soil, and it'll provide the good sugars for our biologicals in the soil and feed it and allow the soil to be strengthened, and also feed the fungus that our plants need to be happy and healthy. Okay, guys, so that's your update. It's a lot for you to think about, a lot for you to digest. I understand that. A lot of people probably didn't even make it through the video, but if you're still here, you know that this is some pretty valuable information. So I'll be doing another interview with Greg, and he can go into depth a little bit more and answer more of your questions, probably tomorrow or Monday. But we appreciate you sticking with us, and we appreciate you watching. Be sure and share this video with your people your friends and family who are struggling with their gardens, and be sure and get a cover crop going, and start looking into that spray that Greg made that's going to create some biologicals to defeat the insects instead of having to use chemicals. Take care. God bless. We love you all, and we'll be in touch. See you soon.